Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the Flora Story palette from Oden's. This is their collaboration with Amanda from Makeup Just for Fun. Here's the eyeshadow look I did with it. If you want to see how I did it, stick around. And if you've never been here before, hello, my name is Rachel. I'm a homeschooling stay-at-home mom. There's currently a baby on my lap. She's just as cute as can be. She's 2 months old and she just woke up from her nap, so anyway, I love to play with colorful eyeshadow and I upload several videos every week that are all eyeshadow related. So if you want to see more, I do hope that you'll consider liking and subscribing before you leave. Of course, we're using the Flora Story palette today. I have already primed my eyes. Everything that I'm using is linked below in the description box. Let's zoom in and get going with today's look. With a medium blending brush, I'm grabbing Azalea and I'm going to put this in my entire crease. In case you've watched any of my recent videos, you may know that I'm doing a palette pull-in project. It was kind of my version of panning, but my goal is not actually to pan. My goal is simply to use everything that I have. So I've uploaded all of my palettes into a random generator online, and the generator pulled the palette through my eyes between ColourPop and I Love Sarai. The idea of that project is that I use the next consecutive shade each time I do my eyeshadow look. Today's shadow would have been a lovely coral matte, and it's sort of mid-toned, and it would look really pretty with this color story. However, because this video is sort of dedicated to the Flora Story palette, I didn't want to bring in a shade that you guys wouldn't be able to find if you were trying to recreate the look. After today's video, I'm happy to combine these palettes with anything else. When I did my dedicated videos for Sea Talk and Planet Spirit, I did use my palette pull-in shades, but that was because in the case of Sea Talk, my shade was a bronze shimmer, which Sea Talk has, so you could have recreated that look, no problem. And in the case of Planet Spirit, my pull-in shade was essentially an ivory matte. It made literally no difference at all to my look. In fact, I did the whole video without using the pull-in shade, and then I brought it in at the end and you couldn't tell a difference. So for those two, it didn't really matter. But for today's video, that shadow would certainly, again, it would look nice with these colors, but it wouldn't be something that you could recreate if you were following along. So I'm sort of breaking my own rule. But because it's a personal project, I don't mind breaking my rule, because at the end of the day, it's my rule. It's my face, it's my eye look, and I have reserved the right to not use my palette pull-in if I think it'll mess up a look. Or in the case of this, if I want to dedicate the video to what you can do with this palette, then bringing in a coral matte doesn't work for you guys. I'm taking a smaller brush and now grabbing the darker purple matte. It's called Orchid, and I'm just going to put this in my outer corner, and I'm going to do a little angle like this so that it starts in my outer corner and works its way diagonally down to the lash line and deepen the crease as well. I hope you guys are enjoying my recent videos. It's been fun trying to get back into the swing of things with now an infant and a toddler and an older child whom I'm homeschooling. I think all of the activity surrounding the baby's birth has now settled down, so it's sort of just us again, working to create a routine. I don't know. It's been a challenge. I haven't been able to rely on one particular part of the day where I can say, yes, here's my chunk of time to do anything for myself, whether it's filming or not. However, the infant is now kind of getting a schedule. She's 2 months old now, and she's moving towards the 3 naps a day trend. So when one of those naps happens to be after lunchtime and coincides with my toddler's nap, then I have a chunk of time, and that's sort of what I've been anticipating and looking forward to each day. Some days it doesn't happen, and that's what it is. You guys have all been so patient and kind and understanding, and I appreciate you. Using that smaller blending brush, I'm taking Orchid onto the lower lash line as well. This is a very pretty purple. I like this color story. I mentioned when I talked to you guys about actually buying these palettes, I mentioned that the Flora Story palette, in my opinion, is maybe the least scary, but the most wearable, the most flattering for lots of eye colors and skin tones. My guess would be Sea Talk and Flora Story are the most popular. They're probably the ones that would sell out first. I think Flora Story did sell out and was restocked. I don't know exactly. But Flora Story is just a very flattering, soft, more muted color story overall. I still wish we had a deeper matte, but I kind of always wish that for palettes. A deep matte, a light matte. Something to smoke out and something to highlight. But these are very pretty tones. Let me show you a video of the first time I used this palette. I wasn't super impressed by that look. It's not the palette's fault. I just didn't feel that I had challenged myself at all. I was feeling kind of that day, and my eyeshadow look just happened and it wasn't very exciting to me. The colors were pretty. I just felt that I could easily recreate that look using the Child palette from ColourPop, or really any palette that has a couple nice sage greens in matte and shimmer. There you go. That's the look. The only difference was that there's purple on the lower lash line, and I can't get that from the Child, but it doesn't matter. I felt that that look was rather dull. But, you know, it depends on people's preference, because sometimes a one and done or a really light or soft sort of look is exactly what they want. I tend more towards the dramatic side of things, but that's just me. Maybe this look was somebody's dream, and this palette absolutely gives them everything that they would ever want. I want to take a denser blending brush now, and I want to grab the lighter green matte. It's called Clover. I'm going to put this on the center of my lid. We're doing something a little bit different today, so I definitely want the green color in the middle of my lid. Honestly, you know, I'm going to put it on the rest of my entire lid space. Like, everything that's not covered in shadow will get this green shade, because I'm going to put shimmer on top, but I just want to pack down this base first so that it shows up with the shimmers around it. This is a pretty shade. I'm building it so that it's not too sheer. And then when I get to the purple and the crease, I'm sort of just blending them together. So I guess Clover really is covering the rest of my lid. I didn't think that through when I explained it to you, but that's where we are now. It's quite a soft, sagey green, so it's not hyper pigmented or deep or dark, but it is building quite nicely. I'm getting a good color payoff as I tap it into place. And since this is as dark as the palette goes, my outer corner is not going to get any darker. I'm going back into my original, or the small blending brush, and just bringing a little more of that back into play. I wasn't planning on getting these palettes originally, and so I actually didn't watch that many videos of people using them. I think I was also going through a little period where I was stepping back a bit from watching a lot of content because I was starting to feel overwhelmed. I was starting to feel, you know, buy, and that's not healthy, especially when I would like to keep my collection on the smaller side, and curated. There, that's pretty. Okay, now it's time for some shimmer. So I'm going to grab a flat brush, dip into a shimmer, and spray it, and I'll tell you what I'm doing. I think this is the first time I'm doing my eyeshadow ever, while wearing contact lenses. I can actually see everything around me. It's amazing. I have taken the shade Magnolia. It's the purple shimmer in the palette. I haven't used it at all yet, actually. This is my inaugural time using Magnolia. I've dipped into the pan, I sprayed the brush, and I'm going to put that on the outer third or so over top of the purple matte. This isn't very light, so it's not bringing a lot. Ooh, but that's pretty. Sorry, I got distracted. It's not a very light tone, obviously. Ooh, but when the light hits it, nice. Okay. I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going diagonally like this, creating a big wing sort of thing out here. I guess that's what I'm doing. I guess I'm making a wing with it. It doesn't feel moist at all to me. I wonder if I missed it when I sprayed it. You ever do that? You ever go to spray your brush and completely miss the brush and then try to catch it in the air? I'm a mess. Okay, that's fine. That's pretty. With a smaller flat brush, I'm now taking the shade Dawn. This is the light shimmer in the palette. It's also multi-chrome, I believe. And I'm loading up my brush, and then I'm gonna spray it as well. Spraying the shimmer onto the brush helps control fallout so you don't get a lot on your face. It also enhances or amplifies the shine of that shadow, and it can help you be more precise because it's more like you're painting it on as opposed to diffusing it. Dry bristles, they tend to be a little bit looser, and so when you put a shimmer on with dry bristles, they spread out more. So spraying it on your brush just helps clump those bristles together and give you more precision, which is usually what I want, but you will see me sometimes using a dry brush. This is the shade Dawn, and I'm putting this in my crease. And I'm not going all the way, I'm just kind of going halfway, like, I'm sure you can see. I'm going to about here. So there's like a little half arch. And because I have hooded eyes, when I look straight ahead, you probably can't see that. So I might overpaint it a little bit, dip back into the pan and spray it again. I think you're only seeing that color if I blink and that part of my skin is exposed. So I'm gonna overpaint it a little bit. I've got the brush loaded up and I've got it angled upwards like this. I'm gonna look straight at the camera and paint up a little bit higher than my crease so that you can actually see that shadow when I'm looking straight on. You're hopefully seeing a little arc of the multi-chrome shimmer, and then an angle of green matte, and then the purple with the shimmer on the end. It might look like an alien or a frog princess. I think I'm just really mimicking on the lower lash line what I did on the upper. So I'm building up this green over to meet the purple, and then I'll take that multi-chrome shimmer Dawn and lay it on the inner corner. I'm going to put it as an inner corner highlight, but I'm also going to lay it on the first quarter maybe, or the first third of my lower lash line in this area, so that it mimics and echoes what's above it. Kind of makes the whole look close out. So because this is a multi-chrome, the reflects that I see are gold, green, and pink. But especially light-toned multi-chromes, they often will sort of pull in the direction of what they're laid over or next to. So it might pull more green if you've got it on a green look. It might pull more pink if you've got it on a pink or purple or red look. This one is looking quite gold, and I see a lot of green in it too. I'm not head over heels gung-ho when it comes to multi-chromes. Like the multi-chrome trend that's happening right now, I think they're very cool. I think they're creative, and I think some of them are truly spectacular. But some of them just look so heavy on the eyes, especially the black-based multi-chromes. I don't find them appealing at all. Again, I think they're cool. I like to look at them. I think the hand swatches are kind of nice. But when it comes to actually using them as eyeshadows, I think they're just too heavy looking. They feel very burdensome, like visually burdensome. I like something that's lighter, a bit more airy or fairy-like, which is probably why I love Oden's Eye so much, because their formula is like that, particularly their shimmers. They're so light and refreshing. They're just a gorgeous layer of shimmer, sparkle, and color, but not feeling weighty. And this, the Oden's Eye multi-chromes, I feel, are very much like that. All the ones in these Perfect World collection, and also, for example, in the Merry Christmas palette, there's that shadow called Elf, which is green, pink, gold, rose, yellow. It's a whole bunch of different colors, but it's super light toned. I mean, it's so light that you can easily make it, just like this one, an inner corner highlight, and it just brings this soft, light, sparkly, fairy air to your looks. I love Oden's Eye shimmers for that reason, and their multi-chromes, I do find them appealing because they're not black-based, because they're light, because they're just sweet. Okay, that's the eye look. You know, when you've got a palette that you don't find to be the most exciting color story, sometimes you can just make it work by challenging yourself with a different technique. And that's what I was trying to do today. I'm going to go off camera and see if I can make the other side match. I'll be right back. All right, guys, here's how the look finished out. I had to go get my baby. She's currently sitting on my lap, smiling at me. Hello. She's so smiley these days. I love it. To finish the eye look, I used the ColourPop Creme Gel Liner in the shade Aglow in my waterline. I used some mascara. On my lips, I'm wearing ColourPop Lip Oil in the shade Paper Pansy. I think it's all gonna be linked down below, so I'll confirm and then put the right color in there, but I think it's Paper Pansy. I have a little bit of the Tulum palette from BH Cosmetics for a bronzer, and a little bit of the Frosé palette from BH Cosmetics as a highlighter. And here's the whole look. I think it's really lovely. I know I say that at the end of almost all my videos, almost all of them. I do actually think it's quite lovely, and I'm glad that I challenged myself to do something a little bit different, because I felt that the color story of this palette, while it is beautiful, is very safe. And I don't always want to be safe with my eyeshadows. Usually I want to be wild and take a chance and see how these two colors look together and just go for it. So when there's a really safe color story, I like to challenge myself by doing a different technique or bringing in, you know, graphic liners or something like that. This is what I did today. I like it. I hope you like it too. Thank you very much for being with me and for hanging out. Remember to like and subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys again very soon in my next video. Bye!